Hello again. Displaced KwaZulu-Natal flood victims staying at a craft market on the N2 South say they are now being asked to pay rent in order to remain there. The families are asking that they be given proper houses. They're also saying they're being forgotten because they have no longer received as much aid. They no longer rather receive as much aid as they used to after the floods. For more on this and for the latest, eNCA reporter Manqoba Mchunu joining me now live. He's in Umgababa, just south of eThekwini. So, Manqoba, good afternoon. Is it clear yet why are they being asked to pay rent in these shelters, and who's asking them to pay rent?
Well, but at this particular point, we do understand that it is actually the traders, those are the tenants of this particular establishment. You understand, Patan, that this is a craft market that was developed in the 90s to help the locals in terms of their own craft and marketing their craft, and also boosting their economy here in this particular part of Durban. And of course, the residents saying that they have been paying for expenses here in this particular market, but there has been no income coming because of the flood. So the tenants that we spoke to saying that, in fact, they now want these displaced residents to start contributing towards some of the expenses. They say that there's security that they have to pay for. There's also water that they have to pay for. Some of those, expenses that they have to pay for on a monthly basis. And because business has also not been that good for them, because the N2 freeway, which is nearby, was also destroyed by the floods. So they feel that these displaced residents will now have to also contribute to those expenses because they say they've also been hard hit. But then I do understand that the other section of this particular craft market, there are two of them. There's one on the south and there's also one on the north. We're now on the south side of that craft market, and here they're telling us that they have already started paying amounts to contribute towards rent that is required by these tenants. But I'm going to bring in one of those displaced residents who's here. Usiswami la uthungitshele siswami ukuthi kwamanje seniqalile nini ukukhokha kuleli site ngapha nikhokha imali engakanani nikhokhela ba?
Sikhokha 50 rand sa nikeza umamnuti. So kwathiwa ngowe in fact bayazi contractor. But it is izinto ezimbini at the same time, but i-rent baphinde bathi akuyona i-rent imali ye-security, and bakhulumana ngendaba yamanzi uba kuzofika ibhili enkulu because sisebenzisa amanzi amaninzi, bakhalazela into bakahle kahle siwasha njalo. Yes, so kunzima into baningangawasha njalo because sihlala nezingane la and ayikho into esizoyenza.
So ke siswami seniqalile ukukhokha bathele imali nizokhokha le mali u50 rand njalo noma kuzoba njani?
Ba okwamanje sikhokhe 50 rand last month, but babethe izonyuka so nibe ngu300 rand, so bebengekasixeleli into bizonyuka nini.
Niye ndakhuluma no councillor niye nathola ukuthi kwenzakalani ngoba ke ngiyazi ukuthi abaningi beni bathi abakwazi ukukhokha le mali.
Councillor kwamanje asikahlangana nalo. In fact sekunesikhathi esithi councillor singaliboni, but ndike ndalifonela ndicela into basihlangane nalo because nandifuna ukubuza lona because umuntu owayefikile la wayehamba nayo mamnothi ngomnye wabantu abahamba nalo councillor babugumede. Yes, so
kwakhona umuntu ofisini le councillor wayithi nikhokhe naye.
Andikho sure ubuze ofisini le councillor, but engaziyo into obuhlale hamba ne councillor. So andikho sure into ba i-title yakhe ithini makuza ngase ofisini le councillor, but engaziyo into obuba nalo ixesha elininzi.
Nizokwazi ukukhokha lo 300 rand?
Ngoba sinayo indawo yohlala, shuthi kuzofanele sizame ukuyikhokha. Akusithi sonke sisebenzayo uthi nesihlala la, kodwa ayikho into esingayenza.
Nizizwa kanjani ngona uthi sekuthiwa manje kufanele nikhokhe nibe nani vele nixakekele ngenayo indawo yokuhlala?
Ngeke niziniqamba manga ndithi sizizwa kakuhle. I think ibekungaba ngcono if mhlambe ikhansela la lifikile lona kwalelo lisi-addressayo kwasekuqaleni because of into eyayichiwe ilona kwasekuqaleni, because efika ikhansela lathi into ba ayikho into akekho umuntu onelungelo lokufika la azothi masenze into yena engakhangeze ukuthi azositshela, and then mase kufika ubabugumede ehamba nomamnothi. So I think sonke we assumed into bikhansela le aware of that. Asinayisho loba liyazi noba lazi because asikaze sikhulume nalo noma nje lona likaze lize ukuthi lizositshela into kanjalo, but I guess ayikho into esizoyenza ke.
Okay, but nawe bukhona ufuna ukusho ngalokhu ukukhokha kwemali, ngiyazi ukuthi yanijabule njengabantu bakhona enhlala la.
Oh, empeleni isimo esingehlele mina ngomunye wabo owadilikelwa kodwa ke okufikeni kwami bengivele ngisebenzela khona la. Ya isimo khona sokuhlala nabantu abakhona la asikho right neze. Njengoba sekunesimo sekuthiwa sekufanele ukuthi abantu abadilikelwe nabona bakhokha ama rent nakhona into engahlali kahle. Isimo asikho right.
Well, Pradan, those are just some of those displaced residents, just painting a picture really what is happening here. They're saying that they've been told that, in fact, they'll need to pay as high up as 300 Rand on a monthly basis. And this is to pay for other expenses that, of course, are required here. There's water bills to be paid. There's also security to be paid. So they've been told by some of the traders here that they'll need to actually contribute towards those costs. But the lady saying that, at the moment they are currently paying 50 Rand. They've been told to contribute 50 Rand, but that could go up. But of course, they say that they've been taken aback by this because they didn't know that there might come a point where they'll need to pay because they themselves have also been displaced. They don't have anywhere to go. So it is an issue that is currently causing a bit of tension between those displaced residents as well as the traders here. Of course, they're also making a valid point as to those expenses that will need to be paid into this particular area. But the lady is saying that she's not aware or she's not sure whether the councillor himself is aware of this, but there was a gentleman that is usually accompanying the councillor when he comes to address the residents. That was among some of the people that would come and address these residents. He was also part of those people that were here also talking issues that these residents might have to pay rent for staying here. But earlier on we did speak to the councillor, but then he assured us that they will be no rent that will be paid by some of these displaced residents, saying that in fact he's going to hold meetings with these two sides just to try and find a resolution to this particular impasse. But take a listen, Pradan, to what he had to say.
I understand that people are concerned about the fact that maybe they cannot honor certain obligations that they have as far as their business trading concerned. It's something that we can sit and engage with the Board of Corporate on their behalf just to share these ideas, but it should not be associated anywhere with the issue of people who are destitute, whom we have been able to put them there. So we will get an opportunity to sit and so that we can clarify with them that what are the conditions, the issue of services that they are paying for. How is it affected by having the destitute people sitting here to a point that they believe that they are the cause of them not being able to afford to pay services. It's something that I cannot explain for now until I get an opportunity, because I have not really raised that with me. I will take that opportunity to hear their side and also see how to intervene. The people who are staying there, the displaced people, no, there is no rent they'll be paying. They are here on our request and they are our guests. They are not going to be paying any rent. There's no obligation for them to pay any rent.
Okay, those views by that councillor there in eThekwini, ending that update from Manqoba Mchunu from Mgababa.